Good morning. Still nighttime. Time right now is 4:02 in the morning, and I'm up so early because we're going to make sourdough bread today. Bake it in our solar oven. To get started, I have both of my starters, which I fed last night. This is a starter made with all-purpose flour, and then I have my whole wheat starter. And bands are on here so I can see how much it grew overnight. Anyway, let's get started here. I'm going to put in 1 cup of whole wheat flour, and that's what I just ground up in our mill. I like to use actual whole wheat flour. That you buy in the bag at the store isn't actual whole wheat. It's been degermed, so you don't get near the vitamins and nutrition that you do from regular home ground wheat. Might notice that I'm spooning this in instead of just digging into it. That way I get a more perfect measurement with my flour. I'm putting in 1 cup of whole wheat. I put in 2½ cups of all-purpose. Okay. Next, we're going to put in 1½ teaspoons of salt. Or thereabouts. Also in this recipe, I like to add a little bit of raw sugar. We'll do 1½ tablespoons. Okay, next we have to prepare our starters for this. And the way I do that is I mix our starter with 1¼ cups of water. And each starter is 1/4 cup. First of all, I need to break down the bubbles in the starter. Doesn't hurt if you go a little bit more. It's really interesting how the same yeast behaves so differently between the two starters. Your all-purpose flour starter, the yeast grows very quickly in it, and then backs off much earlier. Your whole wheat starter tends to grow much slower, but then it actually stays poofy longer. Really bubbly. And it's a little thicker right now. Anyway. The other thing that's different about the two starters is that if you just use the all-purpose starter, you won't get that sour flavor. At least that's been my experience. the tang in the bread just isn't there. But just this quarter cup of whole wheat starter really gives the bread a very nice sourdough tang. And we mix that up in the water. And we add that to our flour, salt, sugar. This is a no-knead recipe, so there's no worry about really overworking your dough or having to spend a lot of effort with it. You see, at this point it looks very, very thick. Very nice consistency. You actually get your hands right in there and work the dough without having too much problem having it stick to you. Now we're going to put this in a plastic bag and stick it in a warm place for the next 6 hours to let it proof. During that time, this dough is going to become very, very soft and sticky as the yeast reacts on it and it grows. That's all there is to the first part of making our no-knead sourdough solar bread. Well, through the miracle of video, 6 hours have gone by. As you can tell, I'm a little bit more dressed and a little bit more awake than I was last time. Okay, here's our dough that has been proofed for 6 hours. Take it out of the bag. And it has easily grown more than twice its original size. You can see that there. So anyway, and as I told you, we'd have a sticky, gooey mess. So let me flour my work surface. Okay. Boy, it's full of bubbles. That's what we want to see. One of the really nice things about baking bread at home is it's so much more cost efficient. Bread at the stores today, $4 or $5 a loaf. Even if you bake it in your oven, you can still produce it at $1.20 a loaf. And doing it with the solar oven outside, we're even saving more. Not to mention getting to be outside, which is always good. Okay, now this dough, as I said, was very sticky, so I'm going to flour my hands. Okay, and we're going to just work this out gently. I get it to where it's about 3/4 of an inch, 1 inch thick. Okay, and then I just slowly fold it back on itself into thirds. Okay. And we're just going to let it set underneath a towel, which I happen to have right here. for about 15 minutes. So let me set my timer. And away we go. Well, it's been almost 15 minutes here, so we're going to start prepping our next proofing bowl. Spray it with a little spray oil. And I like to pour in a little bit of wheat bran, or actually this is a wheat germ. Put a thin layer in there. Just keeps the flour from sticking, or the bread from sticking. And it also puts a nice texture on the crust. Okay, our 15 minutes are up. As you can see how I've coated the bowl here. Okay, all we have to do now is remember to flour our hands. Just pick the dough up. We're going to work it into a ball. You see how I'm pulling it around so it goes underneath. Nice ball now. I don't want to overwork it. Just drop that in there. Back into the proofing bowl, or into the proofing bag. Now, I already have my oven preheating out there. But I'm not going to put this in the solar oven and be too hot for proofing it for the next hour. What I like to do is set it in the back window of our car. That's just about the perfect temperature. So we'll see you later. Well, our hour is up and our dough has proofed for the second time. And it is definitely enlarged itself. Let me just smell that dough. Okay. Now I'm going to oil our bread pan, or the pan I'm going to use for the bread. And this is a little bit of the tricky part. I'm going to transfer this over into the pan. There we go. Okay. I want to get it in there as even as possible. Okay. Now I'm going to take and put some slits in the top so that the steam can escape. Okay, we're ready to put it in our oven. Now we're already up to 370 degrees and pre-warming our oven. Here's the bread. One of the reasons the bread comes out so good in these solar ovens is because of all the steam you see building up on the inside there. It's trapped in that chamber, and that steam is like magic on the crust. It makes the crust just absolutely crispy and wonderful, while the crumb inside just stays moist and delicious.